Hi, welcome back to Garden on the Moors. We're well into spring now and it's time to plant our potatoes. So let's go take a look. I like to plant potatoes from the end of March and throughout April. In my own garden where I am now, I'll plant them using the no-dig method, which I'll show you in just a second. And in Bran's grandparents' garden, I use the double-dig method. So I can show you both today, which will be really good. So for no-dig, what we have is like a thick mulch on top of cardboard. And then within that, we'll plant the potatoes. I use a bulb planter, just so I find it easier.
And first up are our first early Pentland Javelin potatoes. With the bulb planter, I'll make a hole about 10 centimetres or so deep and plop the potato into the small hole. Simple.
And then what we'll do is keep them 30 centimetres apart and mulch them up as they start growing, and then harvest them just by pulling them and trying to create as little disturbance to the soil as possible. Just on the subject of no-dig veg planting, I've already planted my peas and onions. So for my peas, I put pea sticks into the ground and then I use a little dibber just to part the compost and pop my pea in. So these are saved seed of Kelved and Wonder. And then for onions, I usually stick to sets. I just find them easier. So I get the little set, just part the compost just a little bit at the top and pop the set into the compost there. For double dig, what we do is dig out a trench. Clear off the weeds from our next row, put those weeds into the trench. Then we put the potatoes in there as well. And then dig over the next row's trench into that one we've just created. So then we're then planting the rows of vegetables, and we'll keep doing that throughout the rest of the rows until we have a complete veg garden then. So a lot of people ask me why I do both dig and no dig. So no dig is much easier. You're just laying down a layer of mulch every year and then hoeing off the weeds. It's a lot easier on your back and everything like that. It's also really good for soil health and water retention because you're building up really nutritious ground through an organic way using worms and things like that and natural microbes and a fungi creating mycorrhizal relationships. The downside to it is that it does take a lot of compost. Here, I've got lots of garden compared to a veg patch, so I can create my own compost. I also have the chickens and I also have the quails, and I can incorporate their waste products basically into the compost and create loads. So then I've got more than enough for my veg patch and the rest of the garden. But if you were perhaps like at my partner's grandparents' garden, where they've got lots of veg patch to the rest of the garden, they can't produce enough compost to do no dig. So you'd have to be buying it in, and it gets really expensive, especially doing that every year. So what we do, and we're also limited on space to create compost. We don't have any compost bins, it's paths right up the side, and then that veg patch. So we use the traditional method of double digging, because that way you're using the weeds that you have and put them straight into the ground to break down, and that's how you're feeding the compost, well, the soil up there, and aerating it as well. So this is the first part in probably a two-part series. What I'll do is when we come to harvest them, I'll show you the difference in results. So stay tuned for that. there we are. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe for more, and stay tuned for our big potato harvest reveal later in the year. Thanks, see you again next time. Cheers.